Hi, anyone and everyone. This is Kim, the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I am going to do the collective today, the Crow Collective. Today is Thursday. It is March 26, 2026. You may follow me on the Talk the Tube, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. If some of it fits, God's kiss. We love that for you. Whatever doesn't, leave it on the table for someone else. We don't want you taking on energy that wasn't meant for you. We're going to use the Urban Crow Oracle by MJ. I got mine on Amazon. You can pretty much find this anywhere. I've seen it at Barnes & Noble, bookstores. You probably go to hayhouse.com and see if they sell it there. I've seen it, people selling it on Etsy. People sell it on eBay. Used copies, new copies. So you can get it anywhere. I went to the bookstore yesterday with my friend. We went to the pizza place in Kenosha, Cutstone Pizzeria. And we went to the bookstore beforehand, and I found this tarot deck. It is a little pricey, $35, and it's full price bookstore. It's independently owned, so $35 for this. Beautiful cards though. So I'm gonna play around with this weekend, cleanse it, all that good stuff. I'm also gonna probably use the Straight Talking Tarot from Hattie Thorne that I got. I cleansed it, all that good stuff. Probably use the Folk Birds Oracle again. Just letting you guys know some plans for the weekend. As of right now, just letting you guys know this too. As of right now, supposedly I will be working overtime on Sunday, which is good because I could use some fun money. The cats could use some food money. Not that they're not eating. I always want to make sure they have plenty of food. But yeah, I'll probably be working on Sunday. So Sunday will definitely just be affirmations, no readings, unless for some reason I get home and God's like, hey, you worked 6 hours, but how about you work another? And I'll be like, hey, how about not? But of course I will, because I love you. All right. Let's do some shuffling. We got 3 on the table. That came out fast. Someone's going to tell somebody that they need to protect themselves from someone or something or a group. Got 5 on the table. Two more shuffles. Last shuffle. Four with bottom of the deck. I swear to God, this card keeps popping up. Sorry, it's me scratching my leg. We got warning, like a dog. A dog. Community. I just heard community D, if you know what I mean. Community D. D. Can I emphasize that enough? We've got protection, luck, growth, and bottom of the deck is curiosity. Feminine, masculine, take how it resonates, doesn't matter. I feel like I'm being called to say what the flip side of this reading, but at the same time, like, I just don't feel like that's what it is. So originally I got somebody coming in to warn another person that they need to protect themselves from a group, a family, a community, something like that. Whoever this group is, they're watching somebody else and thinking, like, how did this person get so lucky? How are they growing? How are they so prosperous? Like, they can't take their eyes off of someone, okay? The flip side, which I don't like, does it really make sense? Somebody coming in to warn a community, like a family, a group, a community, that they need to protect themselves because one person is watching them and not liking what they see. I don't really feel like that. Like, why would a community be afraid of one little person? And I'm not saying that like in a demeaning way. It's just more than likely that would not be the case. And even if it were the case, like, let's say this person was a part of the community and then they left and now there's a rift and now this community is fearful of what this person might say or do. I mean, whether it's the community and a person or the person against a community, like it's always going to be like a he said, she said. So what is it like to me? Like it doesn't, like, what does it matter? I don't think that's the case. Take how it resonates. I feel like it's somebody being warned by another person that they're being watched by a community. And they might be being warned by someone in this community. So you just want an example. Like, let's say this is a family. And let's say it's my family, okay? And let's say I've walked away from the family. Like there's abuse and all this kind of stuff. So I don't talk to anybody in my family, right? But my family's watching me, right? Like do my thing, live my life. Social media, actually standing outside my window, I don't know. But they're watching me, right? And let's say one of my cousins shows up on my doorstep and I'm like, "Hey, Tina, what are you doing here? What's going on?" And Tina says, "I just want to let you know your parents, your siblings, your grandparents, your aunt, your uncle, my parents, they're all watching you. Like you left, you're somehow thriving on your own and they don't understand. They're watching you like a hawk. Protect yourself, protect your energy." It's like that kind of vibe. And then this cousin Tina goes back to the family, right? Like she's a part of the family. I'm no longer part of the family. She's a part of the family. She goes back to the family. It's something along those lines. It doesn't have to be exact. Pardon me. This person could be, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but this person could have like gained some weight. Maybe people are watching them and they watch this person gain weight and they're thinking, "Oh, like you must have a lot of money for food," or cuz right now everything's so expensive. People could be like, "Oh, you can afford, to buy," and I'm just going to throw bullshit out there cuz I don't even know. "You can afford to buy a DiGiorno pizza for $15. Um I can't even afford to buy a Tombstone for 6." Like somebody could a group could be watching a person thriving and not really understand, like, where is this coming from. And you guys know how I feel about luck. If you follow, if you subscribe, I don't really believe in luck, but I believe in divine guidance. I believe in divine counsel. I just heard everything is divinely guided. Everything is meant to be. Everything is destined and fated. So if a group is watching this person and they're thinking like, "Wow, they're so lucky." No, honey, they're not lucky. That's how that was always supposed to be. Like they were always supposed to be not well off, if not well off, you know, taken care of. And more than likely by themselves, right? They could literally just see this person coming into things that they normally wouldn't have been able to acquire. Like if somebody buys a new car and they're like, how did she or he afford that? If somebody pays off their house or somebody pays off their car or somebody buys a boat or somebody buys a motorcycle or like somebody's spending money on like toys and things, right? Like adult toys and stuff. Not those adult toys. And people are watching and being like, how can they afford that? Where did they get money for that? What happened to this, that, and the other? Pardon me. And they're watching this person grow and heal and move away from them, okay? And it kind of gives like not really a bitterness, but more like a sadness. Like a sadness, like somebody's really moving on, like somebody left and said they didn't want to be here anymore and they didn't want to have anything to do with us and they're really moving on. Like it gives sadness. It doesn't really give bitter. It doesn't even really give anger. It's more because of this curiosity card, it's more of like, well, how the hell did that happen? How the hell did they accomplish that? You know, why is it working out for them and not me or not us? And it's a sadness. It's a sadness. Because really, what comes on the backside of that is people looking at a person and seeing them heal and grow and move forward in positivity. And then they in turn look at themselves and they're like, where am I? Like, am I still in the same spot that I was in, a year ago, 10 years ago? How come this person is moving forward and I'm still here? And those are good questions to ask oneself, right? But if you don't have a plan on how you're going to live your life, on what direction you're going to go in, what you want to do with your life, the things you want to take part in, the things you want to learn, the trauma you want to heal, all that kind of stuff. If you have no plan for any of that, you are going to sit there. You are just going to sit there. And don't get me wrong, you guys know I talked about it. Oh, I'm seeing the kitty walking through the neighbor's yard down their driveway. I think they're going to come down and come underneath the fence. Sorry, I kind of want to see it. But you guys heard me talk before about my own personal stuff, like my goals for last year, right? Sorry, I want to see if it comes underneath the fence. It's a big orange cat. Uh, Maybe not. Maybe it went into the yard or something. They're the way they're. I should show you guys one day. The way it's laid out, it's a little house, probably like a 3 bedroom, 1.5 bath. They got like a basement, no second story, and it's 2 lots. So technically, there probably was another house at one point. Maybe it burned down. Maybe they combined the 2 lots. Maybe it was always like this. I don't know. But there's 2 car garages on either side of the backyard. And then they last year they built like this big giant pergola as kind of like a carport to put one of the cars under. But in between the garage and the house, there's like a little grassy area. They actually have a U-Haul truck parked there, I think for storage. Because I don't know how many people live in that little house. Probably like maybe 8, because I think there's like 2 little kids. I think there's, yeah, that was my neighbor. I think there's a couple teenagers, a couple adults, and I think there's like a grandmother and possibly a grandfather. So like 8 to 10 people maybe. Anyway, and then they have a big kind of like yard off to the side of the house. What was that? I can never tell which one that is. I think that's Liam. It could be the other guy. I don't know. my neighbors, my neighbor's nephews that took over her condo. She's renting to them. All right, the cat never came through, so I don't know. Anyway, enough talk about the neighbors. I was talking about that for like 3 minutes. Anyway, last year I had originally had the plan to edit my book. I had finished my book like in the spring, like around this time, and I was going to edit the book over the summer, fall, and I was originally going to have it edited by the end of the year, and then I could send it off to an editor, figure out publishing, all that stuff. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. I ended up working on myself all summer, doing my exercise journey, walking, weightlifting, all that stuff. Focusing on losing 50 pounds, which is fabulous. I'm so glad I lost the 50 pounds. I think I've gained some of it back, but that's fine. That's fine. In the winter, in December, I started taking classes. I took my Reiki healing class and got my certificate in that. I want to get my Reiki master's. Then I was taking other classes online for life coach, death doula, a few other assorted things. So now, March, April, May is the 3 months for me to edit my book. And then starting in June, I'm probably going to start taking classes again for agriculture, plants, herb garden, stuff like that. Like I want to learn like green thumb type stuff. I want some of that knowledge. So I'm going to do that in the summer. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to be learning some languages. Fingers crossed I can retain some of that information. Because in the past, I've had a very hard time learning languages. Even when I was younger, I had a hard time learning languages. And then I'm going to be looking on where I want to publish my book, and I want to find an editor to actually edit it. I have to pay somebody to actually edit it because my edits are just making sure the book is where I want it to be before I actually send it off to an actual editor. Because then somebody else can read it and kind of give me an idea like, do I need to add something? Do I need to take something away? Like stuff like that. But yeah, everything was delayed for me, but that's fine. Like my plans changed, right? Like I had a plan and it has changed. Like over 6 months or so, it changed. And that's fine. Like I reasoned it out in my head. I figured it out in my head. I made adjustments, and I'm sure I'll need to continue to make adjustments throughout the year, right? It's okay. I still have a basic plan, and I have had that plan since last year. Everything's just a little delayed. It's okay. It's fine. But if you're out there floating around in the universe and you're like, how come all these people are abundant and moving forward and they have this, that, and the other? And I'm literally sitting here, in the same spot I was at a year and a half ago, and I got nothing going on for me. That is your fault. And I don't mean to be a bitch about it, but that is your fault. And I can say that because why? Because I've been there. Because I've been there. I've been stagnant. I've been sitting still. I haven't had anything going on for me. I literally, God love him. I still love my ex-husband. You guys know that. He's my friend. I hope he's always my friend. I spent years sitting on the sofa watching TV with that man, falling asleep at like 6, 7 o'clock, getting up at 10, going to bed, getting up in the morning to go to work, coming home, making dinner, doing laundry, falling asleep on the sofa, watching TV, and going back to bed and doing it all over again. I did that for years and years and years. I had nothing going on. He had nothing going on. We had nothing going on. Nothing. And you know what is sad? You know what is sad is I can honestly say this, you guys. I can honestly say this. And I don't think I've ever really told you guys this, but not only did we get divorced and I started to heal myself from trauma and from the relationship with him, and started to figure out what I envisioned for myself in the future with my YouTube channel. My TikTok went viral, all that stuff. And everything started to move for me. I don't think I've ever really told you guys that when we got divorced, things started to move for him too. And that's when you really know that you were in a connection that you probably just were not supposed to be in, because A, you still love that person, you want the best for them, but B, they're growing too. Like, him not being with me caused him to do things and move forward in a positive light that he wasn't before when we were married. Because again, when we were married, like, we would literally come home from work, he would take a shower, I would make dinner, we would sit down and watch TV. I would always fall asleep because I was so fucking bored out of my mind. And he would wake me up and I would go to bed, and then he would come to bed 2, 3, 4 hours later, because he always worked later than I did anyway, usually. Well, sometimes, I should say. And we would get up and do it all over the next day. I wasn't taking classes online. I wasn't writing a book. I wasn't even reading books, y'all. When him and I were together, I stopped reading books. I was reading comic books, which is fine. You know, I love comic books personally. I was originally going to do my book as a set of comic books. And it's reading just like anything else, but I stopped reading books and I was reading comic books, which are shorter, easier to read technically. But I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't exercising. Pretty much all I was doing was taking care of him and taking care of the house and going to work and taking care of the cats. I wasn't learning languages. I wasn't creating a life for myself. You know what I mean? Like, even with him, you got to remember this. We were a couple. We were married. We were creating a life for each other, right? Together. The thing is, and I always had this in the back of my mind because it's just what I saw. It's just what I grew up with. The woman got married and she basically lost herself and took care of the man and took care of the house and took care of the kids, which would be cats for us, and didn't take care of herself. And that's what happened to me for 11 years, almost 11 years. But the thing is even though I was taking care of him and he was quote unquote taken care of and fine, right? You know, dandy. Really, in reality, when you think about it, he wasn't. He was becoming stagnant too, because the two of us together, it was just not supposed to be. And again, when we got divorced, both of us started to rise, because he started his own weight loss journey. He started his before I started mine. Well, I restarted mine, but he started his. He lost, and he wasn't like a crazy fat kind of guy. He was just kind of chunky. I think he lost like 50, 60 pounds, maybe a little bit more. His diabetes got better. He has diabetes. All his levels and all that stuff got better. And he bought a 3D printer last year, and he started printing like all these like little doodads and knickknacks, and he was giving them away as gifts. He was having such a great time. You know, he was living with his son for 2 years, quality time with his kid, his adult kid. You know, he was doing all these, he was dating. he dated, I think, one or two women from his work, which I don't think worked out, but he was trying to move on and he was trying to move forward in a positive light. And I really think it's just a testament to how we were just in a connection that we were never supposed to be in. It wasn't supposed to be like that. When you're married and you get a divorce and both parties excel, both parties become abundant in some form or fashion, how else are you supposed to look at it? Whoever this community is, this family, this group, no offense to them, but get your shit together. Like, don't watch another person. This is the thing that kills me. Don't watch another person and be like, oh, how do they do that? Yeah, oh my gosh. Like, how come they're moving forward and I'm still here? Dude, knock your head against a rock and figure it out. Like, you got to make a plan. You got to find your interests. You got to know what you love and do what you love and incorporate it into your life. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to lie, but and obviously not everybody believes, right? And then, I tell you guys that's okay cuz it is. But a little faith, a little hope in God, in or whoever, or whatever you believe in, couldn't hurt. It really couldn't hurt. And it gives me a sad energy, like somebody or a couple of people, a group, a family, a community are watching another person and they like it's going over their head, like they're not understanding. And they're watching this other person thrive and it's like, well, what makes them so special? And they're not. It's just that they know their purpose. They know what they're doing. They know where they're going. That's the difference. That's the difference. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there because I babbled on enough about it. Um, and other things too, like garages and houses and cats. I thought I saw the cat again. I hope it resonated for somebody. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, if anything, you were entertained. I hope everybody has a lovely Thursday evening. Again, just a reminder, Sunday, I'm most likely going to be working OT, so I'm just going to do affirmations. Saturday, I have no plans, so I should be home most of the day. I have one thing I got to do like in the morning, afternoon. But I should be home most of the day, so I'll do affirmations, I'll do readings, okay? I hope everybody has a good evening, a fabulous Friday, because it's almost the weekend. I'll talk to you later. Bye.